Imagine waking up to the smell of fresh baguettes, drifting through your window, walking cobblestone streets hand in hand, without a second glance, sipping €4 rosé in the sun, and spending your afternoons exploring farmers markets, queer bookshops, and seaside promenades, all while spending less than you would in most major U.S. cities. Bienvenue and bonjour. Welcome to your Gay Retirement Fantasy French edition. Today on Queer Money, episode 620, we're breaking down the top 5 French cities and towns for LGBTQ Americans looking to retire affordably, safely, and fabulously. We'll weigh affordability, community, lifestyle, taxes, visa, and yes, how much rosé your retirement budget can actually handle. Let's get started.
Hey there, it's David here in cold Ohio. Real quick, I want to tell you to skip the cliches when it comes to freedom. Invest in real mobility through the Optimize Portugal Golden Opportunities Fund. More about that from John in just a bit.
We're going to dive into the first of our top 5 cities, but I will say stick around because we have some hidden gems left at the very end. So our number 5 city is the icon, the fantasy, but the overpriced, I cannot include it, queen, Paris. Gay Paris. Paris is Paris. That's why it's fabulous. It's the world capital of romance, culture, fashion, architecture, history, queer arts, and world-class pastries. For gay men who want museums, wine bars, Michelin star magic, and tonight, a visible queer community in Paris is the crown jewel. So, the reality check here is that Paris is very expensive. It is also very bureaucratic. They make it an Olympic sport. It does have crowds year-round because it is a major tourist city. And if you're planning on living there, many of the apartments are small and sometimes have grumpy landlords. We know this from experience of folks who live there. It's not the easiest place to retire quietly. As for the queer vibe, it's one of Europe's oldest and strongest queer districts. It has La Marais. It has endless queer nightlife, tons of expat LGBTQ social groups, and pride is huge. It's also very political and very joyful. So what does it do for your wallet? Well, as we mentioned, it is expensive, and that's probably why it is number 5 on our list. An average 2-bedroom is going to cost you anywhere from $2,700 to $3,400 US. Remember, we said this isn't cheap. The cost of living overall, though, is about 25 to 35% cheaper than cities like New York, but it's the most priciest of all the French cities. It is best also known for affluent retirees who want the cultural intensity over affordability. So this is for some of you bougie gays who really want to retire bougie and fabulous. As for the language barrier, we're going to give this a medium. You can get by with English, but French definitely helps. Remember, everywhere you move to, if English is not the primary language, you need to learn the basics at least of the language of the country that you're moving to. And it always helps to start a conversation in French and then ask if you can speak in English. As for the queer expat presence, it's very high here. And so for all these reasons, we're going to give it a Queer Money retirement rating of 6 out of 10. Like I said, expensive, a great city for gay nightlife, but there are some drawbacks. Coming in at number 4 is Montpellier. No, not Montpellier, Vermont, but Montpellier, France. It is known as the quiet, fabulous Mediterranean gay haven. Why is it fabulous? Well, Montpellier is young, artsy. It's a sunny seaside adjacent area, and it's proudly queer. Think laid-back Mediterranean vibes without the Nice or Cannes price tag. one of France's most LGBTQ friendly cities without the tourists. So you got a much quieter vibe here. The reality check about Montpellier, because it is in the south of France, it can get very hot and dry. It is not directly on the water, so you do have to travel to get to beaches. It has a much slower pace of life, which may not fit all of those who want that big city energy like Paris has. There are more French-speaking locals than Paris, so language definitely matters here. You're going to have to invest a significant amount of time learning French if you don't already know it. As for the queer vibe, it's one of France's most queer-friendly cities by reputation and by law. It's very attractive to LGBTQ students and a expat community. There are tons of queer bars and cafes. Pride is huge relative to its size. Your wallet, how is it going to hurt your wallet? Well, it's a heck of a lot better than Paris. An average two-bedroom is going to cost you anywhere from around $1,250 to $1,600 a month. So maybe even a little bit less than most places in the United States. The overall cost of living compared to the U.S., it is 45 to 55% cheaper than New York City. It is best known for gay retirees who want year-round sunshine, cafe culture, and a lower price point than the Riviera. The language barrier here is a medium to high. Some English is spoken, but French is the most important thing that you will need when you get there. As for the queer expat presence, it's a medium to high because it is a warm climate. Lots of people like to retire there. And for all these reasons, we're giving it a Queer Money retirement rating of 7 out of 10. Now, France. Well, France isn't just Paris, although I think that's what we all think of when we immediately think of France. It's a country full of small, vibrant, queer-friendly towns where life is slower, cheaper, more delicious, and more romantic than anything mainstream travel guides show you. As far as taxes go, the tax regime is national. So regardless of which of these cities you retire to, you're subject to the same underlying tax laws. The French national tax system applies. For expats, there is a progressive rate that can go up to about 45% of your on income. There is a 30% flat rate on investment income. And there's also a wealth tax that is above certain thresholds. So if you got bank, you're going to end up paying a lot. As for visa, we're going to give France visas a 3 out of 5. There are some visa options. Similar to Italy, it follows some visas that don't allow you to work. So there's a long stay visa, which initially is valid for 12 months and must be validated within a few months of arrival. So this is something you would want to apply for. And then as soon as you get there, you want to make sure that you go ahead and finish the visa process. This allows for you to be a resident, but you cannot be paid to work there. There is a temporary or multi-year residence permit. This is annual or multi-annual. The permit lets you stay legally long-term as a resident. As far as permanent residency or there is a long-term resident card. After living legally in France for several years under the residence permits, you can often apply for 5+ years. You do need, like Italy, you do need to have proof of stable income, sufficient income from savings, your pension, passive income investments, savings, or other documentation showing that you can support yourself without working in France. Many consulates expect you to have at least roughly the equivalent of the French minimum wage. We couldn't find some exact data on that, so we don't want to say a specific amount. You must have valid private health insurance covering your stay, especially for the first period until you integrate into the French healthcare system or social security system that comes with you paying taxes there. You do need proof of accommodation, so you're going to have to go there and you're either going to have to find a property that you're going to rent or a property that you are going to buy or other proof where you will live in France. You must commit to not working. They have a signed declaration. If you are using the visitor or retiree visa route, working while on a visitor visa is generally not permitted. All right, let's dive back into the cities. Coming in at number 3 is Nice. This is a Mediterranean beauty with a polished expat-friendly vibe. Why is it fabulous? Well, Nice gives you Mediterranean magic without Monaco prices, gentle winters, sparkling beaches, and a large English-speaking expat community, and surprisingly, a robust LGBTQ scene. Its walkability is known worldwide. Reality check, though, Nice is still pricey. It's on the Riviera and has tourists year-round. It's not as queer forward as Paris or Montpellier. The summers are packed with seasonal expats. So if you don't like crowds, this is not going to be the place for you. As for the queer vibe, it does have a historic queer presence. There are bars and clubs and cafes, interesting enough, with an older LGBTQ demographic. So I think that is because it is on the Mediterranean and is warm most of the year, it does attract older retirees, especially LGBTQ ones. It is safe and welcoming, but it's not flashy queer. So this is going to be a little bit more subtle. As for your wallet, your average 2-bedroom is going to run around $1,900 to $2,600. I did say it was a little bit more expensive, so it's a little bit more expensive than Montpellier. Not as expensive as Paris. Overall cost of living is similar to, say, for example, Boston, but it is cheaper than a city like LA. It's best for retirees who want warm winters and coastal luxury without having to spend as much money. Language barrier is easy. There are a lot of English speakers here, but remember, if you're going to move to a country, if you're going to immigrate, please integrate yourself into the culture and the community there. Don't just hang out with other English-speaking expats. As for the queer expat presence, it is very high. As we mentioned before, there are a lot of gay retirees that are going there. And for all these reasons, we're going to give it a Queer Money retirement rating of 8 out of 10. Coming in at number 2 is Lyon. Lyon is France's food capital. It has serious gay culture, and it's much lower prices than Paris. Why is it fabulous? Well, it's France's number 2 city for culture, architecture, cuisine, and queer life, but at about 30% lower cost than Paris. So a little bit extra bang for your buck here. There are lots of gay bars, there are queer film festivals, cathedrals, river walks, and it has one of Europe's best restaurant scenes. Reality check, though, it's not the sunny, warm all the time place. Winters here can be damp. English is less spoken than, say, for example, Paris or Nice. It's a real city, so there is traffic, noise, and bureaucracy. Probably what you would expect in Paris is the same thing you're going to expect in Lyon. I spent a couple of evenings in Lyon, and it is beautiful, especially in the summertime. As for the queer vibe, there is a strong LGBTQ student community. So if you're looking for younger nightlife, queer nightlife, you're going to find that here. It's lively, but it's not chaotic or as probably as boisterous as you would see in Paris. It is safe and progressive, and it's also highly walkable, which is, I think, important for gay retirees because we need to keep active, right? As retirees, we want to be using our legs a lot because that keeps us stable and strong. As for your wallet, your average 2-bedroom is going to run around $1,500 to $1,900 US a month, so a little bit less than what you would find in the most US cities. The cost of living here is overall is about 45 to 50% cheaper than New York City. It's best for retirees who want a city with infrastructure without Paris prices. The language barrier is medium. The queer expat presence is medium. And for all these reasons, we're giving it a queer money retirement rating of 8.5 out of 5. All right. So last time when we looked at a country, we looked at Italy. There have been some very interesting comments about Italy, both pros and cons. So we definitely would suggest that you go check that out, especially on YouTube. Look at those comments. The next time we do this, we're not actually going to be covering a specific country, but we're going to be covering some wildcard cities, some ones that didn't make the top 5 in various countries, but are ones that we think you might want to take note of. So this week, we'd like you to comment what we got right and what we got wrong when it comes to France. There are so many places that people are looking at going to in France. And of course, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what places. As for our reigning queen, Caxias, Portugal is still there. There's the fabulous front runner is Valencia, Spain. So let's see if our number 1 spot here is going to be able to knock that off. But before we do that, I wanted to share share with you some thoughts we had on hidden gems that are in France. There's 3 places that didn't make our list, but also we found out that they are very, very queer friendly and have, in some cases, a large queer vibe. So Rouen, which I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, is in Normandy. It's part of Normandy's what's known as their queer-friendly urban network. So there's other cities around that have basically created this queer-friendly network. It has inclusive nightlife, dance venues, and a welcoming vibe to LGBTQ folks. The next city we're going to share is La Croix de Roi. Now, I'm sure I'm not saying that correctly, but my French is. I took French back in high school, so it's been many years. There's Espiguet Beach, which is in La Croix de Roi. It's on the Mediterranean, and it's identified as one of the best gay beach areas in many guides. It's known for gay-friendly beach destinations. And then finally, I'm going to share, I think it's pronounced Penzance. It is a small historic town known for its charming 17th century cobblestone streets and stone facades on its buildings, and it's praised for gay-friendly resorts and relaxed Mediterranean lifestyle. So definitely take a look at those if you're looking for cities or towns that are a little bit smaller than many of the ones we recommend. All right, time for number 1.
Hello from sunny Florida. Like you, your IRA deserves better than bland. With Optimize, you can roll it over into the Portugal Golden Opportunities Fund, keeping tax perks, building wealth, and unlocking Portugal's Golden Visa. Click now in the video description to discover more.
Coming in at number 1 is Toulouse. Toulouse is the most underrated gay retirement city in France, and it has the best mix of price and lifestyle. So what makes it fabulous? Well, it's warm, almost warm all year round. It is known for its pink stone architecture. It is the La Vie en Rose that we hear in the song. It has a huge LGBTQ friendly presence, amazing healthcare infrastructure, big city amenities at small city prices, a lively cafe and food scene, a growing queer expat population. And Toulouse gives you all the culture of, say, Lyon, better weather than Paris, and at a much lower price. The reality check here is that it does have a much smaller queer nightlife than, say, Paris. You'll need French more than any other of the cities that we've mentioned besides those hidden gems. It's a very local French vibe. So it's less international than the other big cities that are on the coasts. And summers can be hot, which I think a lot of us like that. In the summertime, we do like the heat. As for the queer vibe here, there's a large queer student population. It's very active LGBTQ associations with those students. Pride is vibrant and widely attended. It's younger, friendlier vibe than other French cities. As for your wallet, well, this is where it comes in as one of the winners. The average 2-bedroom here is going to run you anywhere between $1,200 and $1,450. overall cost of living is about 50 to 55% cheaper than New York City. It's best for gay retirees who want affordability, warmth, culture, and community. The language barrier here is a medium to hard. You definitely need to know French if you're going to be moving here. As for the gay expat presence, it's medium and it is growing. I think because Toulouse is somewhat of a hidden gem, not a lot of people know about Toulouse. I think there are more people moving in. So for all these reasons, we're going to give it the Queer Money retirement rating of 9 out of 10. So no, it did not knock off a reigning queen, but it does come in quite close. France is more than Paris. It's more delicious, more diverse, and more affordable, and more queer-friendly than most Americans realize. From the pink-hued streets of Toulouse to the queer heart of Montpellier to the Mediterranean glow of Nice, France gives LGBTQ retirees a lifestyle that's slower, richer, safer, and often far cheaper than staying in the U.S. If you're thinking early retirement, late retirement, or early-ish semi-retirement abroad, but make it gay, France deserves a spot on your short list. We've had so many people request that we cover France, so here you go. And remember, your dream life isn't in the future, it's in your plan. And we will help you build that plan here at Queer Money. So which city did you like most? Let us know in the comments. Remember that if you would like to map out your finish line of when, where, and how you can retire, grab the Happy Gay Retirement Calculator with the QR code on the screen in the description of your YouTube player or on the link in your podcast player. For the Queer Money Retirement Rating Card and our scoring criteria, go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities or click the link in the description of your podcast player. Next week, we're going to be talking about how the F you all are feeling right now when it comes to the economy, when it comes to politics, when it comes to the ability to retire. So join us next week. We did a survey of our newsletter list, and we're going to be sharing not only some of the comments, but what we think are some of the solutions to those comments, or at least our commentary on them. And then remember, in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing some wildcard cities from many of the countries that we've already covered to wrap up the year. And until next time, stay fabulous. If you're looking for affordable cities to retire here in the US, stick around and watch this video right here.